Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Tuesday and let's get right to the charts as Bitcoin is having a slight relief rally, as you can see, after bouncing perfectly from the weekly S2, which is sitting at 89k. Basically we went all the way down at 89k and a Bitcoin dropped below $90,000 for the first time since April, which is basically pretty insane. This has been, if we measure it, 208 days, guys. So basically more than 6 months Bitcoin has not been at those price levels. And today we just hit those price levels, which is, as I said in my previous video, still bearish, as Bitcoin is right now on the weekly time frame below this 50 weekly moving average, and a relief rally would mean that we would go up, test this line right here, and potentially reject to lower levels. But as you know, this won't happen for a couple of days. This would be a weekly play. In my opinion, we might see some chop around here and then potentially this happening. So for right now, on the lower time frames, you can see right here, like the 1 hourly Bitcoin has pushed almost 5% to the upside. Right now you can see we are beginning to struggle again at the moving averages, since they are sloping to the downside, as you can see. And if we want to see a actual push towards the weekly pivot, Bitcoin would have to break through those moving averages and then potentially test the weekly pivot as resistance. And then once again the golden pocket would be acting as support for more potential upside, potentially towards 103k. But right now first we need to reclaim basically 99k, this psychological level. But if we get above the weekly pivot, this would be, in my opinion, a easy pump. So on the daily time frame we might set something like this, basically a higher time frame lower high like we had previously. So potentially it is going to be looking something like this if the relief rally continues. Ethereum dropped down towards our weekly S1. You can see we actually wicked below it a bit. It was sitting right around 3k, but we wicked down to 2950, and right now Ethereum is up 6.5% as of the moment. Solana did pretty well today, since as you can see we did approach our value area low, but we front ran it a bit. We did not get a actual hit, but right now we are reclaiming the 786 potentially. Solana got, I think, 10% of a move, so basically Solana is the best gainer for today. Potentially I was targeting the weekly pivot at 147, but as you can see, first we do have at 143 our POC, which we have rejected a lot, as you can see previously, acting as very strong resistance. Hype right now is having a rejection from the 200 EMA. You can see right here we did not quite manage to hit the weekly R1, and right now Hype is pushing almost 8% to the downside, even though it was being the strongest coin, holding very strong, while Bitcoin was dumping from 116 towards 89k. It held pretty well. Maybe right now it needs somewhat of a test of this value area low of this whole range right here. The stock market, I want to talk about the S&P 500. We can see right here on the daily we are actually below the 50 moving average. We are currently touching the weekly S2, almost hitting that 100 EMA, with the weekly S3 sitting at 6,535. You can see this would be, in my opinion, a potential level for a bounce if we measure it from this low that we have right here and draw ourselves an order block basically like this. Potentially this would be a target for a bounce for the stock market, even though you can see things are moving slowly right here. Potentially this is what I am expecting would be happening for the S&P 500. Also, we do have earnings tomorrow for Nvidia, which would be moving the markets quite a lot in my opinion. We are going to see that volatility happening tomorrow when the earnings come out. They are expected to be bullish, so it would be a very interesting day. If we look at the open interest for Bitcoin, basically you can see when this move started right here from the bottom. During this pump we had starting right here, you can see open interest climbing, and then while open interest went up, price also started to see a push to the upside. You can see right here we had open interest go up, then we had a fake out to the downside, bouncing around 90k, and then we got that nice move of around 3% towards almost 94k. And in my opinion, this pump will still continue since we had a lot of downwards time. So basically 2 to 3 weeks, in my opinion, of upside or sideways ranging would be possible right here. I want also to look at the liquidation heat map. You can see yesterday we had liquidity sitting around 89k, the majority of it, and it got taken out perfectly. And as you can see, after being taken out, we are bouncing. We do have a little bit more sitting at 83k and basically at 80k, but at 83k would be the next bearish level if price rejects from the resistances right here that we have and starts pushing towards the downside again. But as I said, for right now I am expecting a potentially bigger relief, that we basically get a couple of percentages more. So up to the weekly pivot is exactly 10% of a move. I am expecting this move to be happening this week. Basically it is still early, we have until Friday, so I'm positive that this move will happen. Of course, this is not a financial advice, these are just my outlook for the markets. You always need to do your own research and your own analysis. I'm just helping you out if you're just getting started. Fear and greed index in that extreme fear. Also, one of the other reasons that in my opinion we're going to be having a relief rally is for a sentiment reset. So what I mean by that is if we start getting a pump or a sideways range, basically the sentiment would change into that back into that fear, potentially into that neutral zone. But the ETF inflows are not looking good yet. You can see we have a lot of selling off happening right here from BlackRock, Fidelity, from the bigger institutions. We have for this week 4 days in a row, as you can see, which is not looking good at all. Long versus shorts ratio, we still have more sellers than buyers right now, which is also why I am expecting that we have another push towards the upside to liquidate those late sellers. Funding rates still remaining positive on the major exchanges. And we do have finally news on Thursday, Friday, and tomorrow we do have FOMC meeting, but this will not be for a red cut. I don't know if Powell will be speaking, but I'm going to be watching it tomorrow. So of course we are going to be getting some volatility happening, and I think this will be it for today, guys. I hope you liked it, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye.